Hey everyone! Today we bring you an inspiring speech by Indian cricketer Virat Kohli in an exclusive chat with Dinesh Karthik on Sky Sports. He talks about his passion, on-field aggression, and the importance of giving 120% every game. Kohli also shares how a fitness transformation in 2012 changed his career and highlights the mindset needed for success. Let's dive in and learn together.
A chubby Virat Kohli to a chiseled Virat Kohli who is the epitome of what sport is all about today. When did that light bulb moment happen?
It happened in 2012, played the IPL in 2012, and the lead up to that was interesting because I had scored my first Test 100 in Australia in 2012, followed by that game against Sri Lanka in Hobart where we chased that total down within 40 overs. That came out of nowhere, honestly. I did not believe that I could do something like that at the international stage. It happened, gave me so much belief from there. And then Asia Cup came and I got 183 against Pakistan. On a Sunday, everyone was watching. So things really just turned in about 6 months for me. But I forgot the basics of the game. I started, becoming more desperate, and I thought, went too far ahead of myself. I thought, this IPL, I'm going to dominate everyone. But the moment IPL started, a few games which didn't go my way, and my mindset completely dropped to the other end. I was eating anything that came in sight. I was finishing, candy packets, 40 pieces a packet. I would finish 3 packets a week. I was eating horribly, sleeping horribly. My habits were all over the place. And I finished IPL. I remember I went home, came out of the shower first day, and I saw myself in the mirror, and I was ashamed. It was literally, I saw myself and I thought I'm looking at another human being, and I told myself, look, if you want to play cricket at the highest level, this is not the way that you can manage. And from next day onwards, I changed everything about my diet, the way I trained, everything, and from then on it was just an obsession.
August, September 2014 wasn't your best time in your life. You were struggling in England. That's the best way to put it. Come November, you go to Australia, you smash them, get 400s in 4 test matches. How did the transformation happen? What is the mental shift that happened in 2 months' time when you go from one continent to another?
That playing at this level over a long period of time, you tend to go into a space where you become a bit insecure, you become fearful, you want to prove to people how good you are in different conditions. And to be honest, before that Australia tour, I was treating every foreign tour like more like an engineering exam that I have to pass somehow, and I have to show people that I can play at this level. But there I realized that once you're down and out, there was hardly anyone who came to help me. There was hardly anyone who was looking towards me and saying, listen, let's work together and try to get your game up to speed. Everyone was just going after me left, right and center. So I was like, am I playing to prove these people wrong? For what? I've got nothing to do with them, and they literally have nothing to contribute in my life. So I went back home. I was down for quite a bit. The great thing that happened at that stage was I realized who's with me, who's not. Things were filtered to an extent that I just got so relaxed when I went back home. I was like, okay, I've hit rock bottom now. No one believes in me. Everyone thinks I should not be playing Test cricket. So what can I do? I can just work as hard as I can. Went into a bubble. I went to Bombay as well. I called Sachin Tendulkar. I asked for his help. I said, see, I want to get my game right. I want to understand what it's like to score runs at this level. My mindset was simple. I went back home. I told myself, listen, you can't play Test cricket to show people that you can play in England and play in Australia and not get out. And if you don't score, it's no point. You play this game to make your team win. So my mindset was, I'm going to go to Australia, and how am I going to score runs against these guys? I wasn't going out there to survive. And from the time I got back home till the Australia tour, I promise you, I was visualizing every day when I was working out in the gym that I'm hitting Mitchell Johnson, I'm hitting these guys all over the park. And those things came to life eventually because I convinced myself to an extent. When I went there, I was absolutely fearless and things just started flowing.
There were 2 instances in my life that happened with you there. And I realized I'm talking to the greatest cricketer ever. And in my books, one of the greatest sportsmen ever by far. That I have met, I think you're the greatest. I don't want to put you on a pedestal, but I want to say this. One, when you were going through what you went through in 2014, I sent you a message saying, don't worry, Virat, a lot of players have gone through. You will get over it. And you sent me, just wait and watch in a couple of months' time. And I think, jeez, what a cocky guy. He's struggling. He can't put bat to ball, and he's saying, wait in 2 months' time. You go to Australia, you show what it is. It's not like you wanted to show it to me, but I reached out to you, but the answer I got was, Don't worry, just wait and watch. So are you born with this confidence, or do you earn this confidence along the journey?
That's who I am. To be very honest, that's who I've always been. The background of my journey is not many people know about the background of my journey. I've been speaking to and consulting with the same coach since I was 8 years old, since I stepped foot into my cricket academy, which I learnt everything from. My coach Rajkumar Sharma, I still speak to him now, and I was speaking to him a couple of days back. And your perspective in life changes every now and then. As I said, with fame, with money, and with success, there are too many people who become close to you, and you tend to sort of forget from the core of your heart who you really are. But this is the guy I've always been. And the beautiful thing about my journey from a young age group has been that I was part of an academy where no one was talking about that academy or that club. So for me, the only way up was, if someone's getting 100, I have to get 200. Otherwise, no one's going to notice me. And I had that fire inside me all the time. And that's exactly what I did to come up the ranks. I scored so many runs that people could not ignore me, because that was my only driving force. And that actually came from the example that my father set for me. There was a time in my life where there was an opportunity. I was selected for under 14 Delhi team, and then I was dropped at 1 a.m. because of some complications. And what happens in state levels. Someone was preferred over me because of some compensations that were done and stuff like that. So the same was offered to my father as well, that if you can, maybe he can get into the team after 2 games. So my father straight away said, I'm not going to pay a single penny to make him play. If he can play on his talent, so be it. If not, it's not meant to be for him. So that stuck with me for life. And I've always relied on myself and what I can do as an individual first. And then I'll take help along the way. And people who have been willing and open to help me and understand who I really am have been the ones that have been closest to me. So this natural, when my back is against the wall, there's only one way for me, and that's forward. And I will do everything in my power to fight my way up again.
This is an emotional question. I know your dad meant a lot to you. I know he passed away in 2006. But the next day after that happened, you went to a domestic cricket match and played. What would make a Virat Kohli do that? What was he thinking?
I honestly, I was blank that morning, and I called my coach, and he was quite understanding of the situation. He asked me, what do you want to do? And instinctively my answer was, I want to go and play. For me, leaving a cricket game in the middle of me batting overnight was just not an option at all. If I hadn't started the game, that's different. But for me to leave a cricket game in the middle of it was something that I could not even imagine. So leaving my team like that, I felt like it was not fair to the game that I love so much. And that's literally my life and soul. My father would have wanted me to do the same. So it was just a no-brainer for me. And I told my family. My family was a bit surprised that I wanted to go and play. And I just went into a zen mode, and I just went out there, and things just started flowing again, as I said. And these are the times that make you realize that this is exactly what you're meant to do. And everything that happens in your life from here on are going to be this through this source called cricket. So the whole journey, the kind of matches that have happened, the kind of knocks that have happened, the kind of moments that have happened, that people have looked and said, wow, I want to do the same. It's literally me making an impact on other people through this game. So that's when I realized this is my journey, and I need to do things in a very organic, in a very, very pure way. Because when you watch it on TV, you can tell the difference between someone trying to fake it or someone playing with heart, and you obviously want to repeat the same. I saw that in my heroes. So I thought, look, this is exactly what I need to do in life. There was not even a moment of doubt.
You take the Under-19 World Cup, and then you're jumping and there's aggression. You take 2021 World Test Championship, there's a wicket, it's probably the 8th wicket, which is innocuous, but you still have the same aggression. That feistiness is what is there on the ground. But off the field, you're a very different person. But do you think this feistiness brings out the best in you every time you step on the field for India and for your franchisees?
Well, for me, a game of cricket is about making your team win. I can very well enjoy the process of batting in nets. I can very well smile and have fun, and fun and games. But when you mean business, you mean business. In life, I don't have to compete with anyone. I'm not in a space in everyday life where I have to be feisty or aggressive. But for me, one thing was always very clear. When I step onto the field, I'm going to give 120% every game that I play. And one thing for a fact that no one can count that against me. Till the time I play this game, I am going to play this way, and this is who I am. And if my mindset in the field is simple, I will not stand around wanting people to do something that I'm not able to do first. For me, every ball is an event. I'll throw myself around every ball of the whole test match. Whether it's the 90th over of the 5th day, I'll still throw myself around, because for me, every moment is an opportunity to make your team win. And that is exactly why you step onto the field. You have to make that time count. Our careers are so short anyway, even if you play for 20 years. After that, you can't play the game. So when you are on the field, you absolutely make most of it. And I let things flow. I don't necessarily look to put any restrictions or tabs or filters on me, because I feel like I have to be myself. I have to be my organic self. If you don't like it, that's fine. That's for you to judge, or you to decide. But is that going to make me change myself? Not at all.
So my second greatest moment with you was, I was with you in we played together in RCB. So and we were just chatting, and we had the England tour coming forward. And I remember I was just chatting to you about a game, and I'm like, "What are you doing, Virat?" And he said, "No, I'm just visualizing me playing at Lords, and I'm already scored 100." And I'm thinking, absolutely mad guy. What is he talking about? So 2 months later, what is this process of visualization that you speak about, and how important has it been in your journey so far?
Massive. For me, as I said before that Australia tour, as I pointed out, honestly, I mean, if you had told me, anyone who would have known what I'm doing in those sessions leading up to the Australia tour, where I was visualizing taking on probably the most dangerous bowler in the world at the moment, Mitchell Johnson, and someone would have told me, you're a fool, that you're literally going in there and wanting to get under his skin or taking him on straight away. But for me, there always have been two options for me. Either it's fight or flight, and I've never taken flight.
Fight or flight.
I've never taken flight. For me, that's just not because look, I can take flight if I can't sleep peacefully at night. For me, it's not worth it. I might as well take the fight. If I fail, I know that I took the right option, and that gives me peace. For me, when I leave the field, as I just said, I need to be able to know that I've given everything I had, and I sleep like a baby. There is nothing else that can distract me then, because in my potential as a human being, God has blessed me with a healthy mind, healthy body, an opportunity which everyone wants. So I have to be honest to that. I have to live up to that. So for me, these things are just a process, just a part of the process, which is you keep moving forward. You keep taking the positive option. Whether you get success or not, that's irrelevant, but never take a backward step.
2014, you play against England, not a great series. Are you one of those guys like, how dare you get me out? Because the next times you've seen England, you've been the highest run scorer in India, you were the highest run scorer again when you played England. So is it a question of, you can't do this to me, I'm the best going around. Every time I see you, I'm going to knock you down. Is that a kind of attitude that you possess, or it's just a process and it just happened?
Look, when I step onto the field, I have to believe that I'm the best. Because my mindset, as I said, was very clear from the first time I started playing this game. I'm not going to allow anyone to think that I'm just a pushover on the field. It's not to disrespect anyone, but it's belief in my own abilities, that fine, you have the ball in hand, but if you get it wrong, you're getting hit for runs. And I'm going to stand here all day. If you get me out and you bowl a great spell, hats off to you. But the next time I'm going to be here again. So make sure that you bring your A game. And that's the mindset that I try and get into invariably. Because look, at this level, people are going to eat you up. If you show them any vulnerability or fears, they're going to eat you up. So for me, I just have to be as fearless as I can. And even if I get out, I want to get out on my terms. If I get out in confusion, it bothers me a lot, because I just don't like the feeling of not knowing what's going on. I might as well make a silly mistake and know this is what I need to correct. Everything else is fine. So I don't go, as I said, I don't go out there anymore to prove anyone wrong. But I put myself in a position where I want to do special things. I want us to win special series.
I know you're a big fan of Ronaldo. What do you like about him?
The thing I admire about him is that he's probably had people, I won't say disliking him, but disregarding a lot of what he's done over the years, and just his mental strength to just keep going, just being the best in the world. I agree, Messi probably has more natural ability, but for this guy to do what he's done day in, day out, and to keep that kind of discipline, to stay at the top of his game for 15 years, it's, for me, that is the epitome of professionalism and discipline, and what mindset can do to an individual. Every time he plays, people know that something special could happen, and that's what I admire about him.